Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the wild and wonderful world of animals, but not just any animals. We're talking about the creatures that make you tilt your head and say, wait, what? We're counting down the top 10 facts about animals that defy logic. Get ready to have your understanding of nature completely flipped on its head, because some of these facts are so bizarre, they're almost unbelievable. Let's get started. Kicking off our list at number 10, we have a creature that seems to have cracked the code of immortality, the Turritopsis dohrnii, or the Immortal Jellyfish. Now, logically, life has a beginning and an end, right? All living things eventually age and die. But this tiny jellyfish has a remarkable ability that throws that whole concept out the window. When this jellyfish faces unfavorable conditions like starvation or physical damage, or even when it reaches sexual maturity, it doesn't just die. Instead, it undergoes a process called transdifferentiation. Think of it like this: instead of shuffling off this mortal coil, it hits the reset button on its life cycle. It transforms back into a polyp, which is an earlier colonial stage of its life. This polyp then buds off new, genetically identical jellyfish. So, technically, as long as it avoids predators, disease, and catastrophic events, this jellyfish can repeat this cycle indefinitely, making it potentially immortal. It's like a biological Benjamin Button in the ocean. How does a creature revert to an earlier stage of life? It completely defies our logical understanding of aging and the linear progression of life. It forces us to reconsider what we thought we knew about the very nature of mortality. It's a biological marvel, and while scientists are still trying to fully understand the mechanisms behind this incredible feat, the fact remains, a creature on our planet has seemingly conquered death. That's number 10, the mind-boggling immortality of the Turritopsis dohrnii. Moving up to number 9, we encounter a creature with a visual system so complex it makes our human eyes look like outdated technology, the Mantis Shrimp. Now, most of us see the world in 3 primary colors: red, green, and blue. Some animals have a few more color receptors, giving them slightly broader color vision. But the Mantis Shrimp, hold on to your hats, folks, these little underwater powerhouses possess not 3, not 4, but a whopping 12 to 16 different types of photoreceptor cells. That's potentially 4 times the color information we can process. But it gets even weirder. Their eyes can also perceive different forms of polarized light, something we can't do without special equipment. Polarized light vibrates in a specific direction, and the Mantis Shrimp can see these different orientations. Logically, you'd think with all this visual information, they'd have incredibly refined color discrimination. But here's the illogical twist. Studies suggest their ability to distinguish between very similar colors isn't actually that much better than ours. Scientists believe their complex eyes might be used for something entirely else, perhaps enhancing their depth perception for their lightning-fast strikes or for complex communication with each other through polarized light patterns we can't even see. So they have this unbelievably sophisticated visual system that seemingly defies its logical purpose. Why evolve such complexity if not for superior color differentiation? The Mantis Shrimp's eyesight is a true biological enigma, landing it firmly at number 9 on our list.
At number 8, we delve into the realm of regeneration with the incredible Axolotl. This charming-looking amphibian, often called the Mexican walking fish, though it's actually a salamander, has a superpower that sounds like it belongs in a science fiction movie. It can regenerate lost limbs, spinal cords, and even parts of its brain without any scarring. Think about it. If we humans suffer a serious injury, our bodies repair themselves by forming scar tissue. While this is essential for healing, it's not the same as perfectly regrowing the lost tissue. But an axolotl can lose a leg, and in a matter of weeks, a perfectly formed new limb grows back, complete with bones, muscles, nerves, and skin. No scar tissue in sight. They can repeat this process multiple times throughout their lives. Even more astonishing is their ability to regenerate parts of their spinal cord and even areas of their brain without any functional deficits. This completely contradicts our understanding of the complexity and delicate nature of these tissues in other vertebrates, including ourselves. Logically, such intricate structures, once damaged, should result in permanent loss of function. Yet the axolotl defies this, holding the secrets to perfect regeneration that scientists are desperately trying to unlock for potential medical applications in humans. The axolotl's remarkable regenerative abilities push the boundaries of what we consider biologically possible, securing its spot at number 8. Cracking into our top 7 is an insect with a truly explosive personality, the Bombardier Beetle. When threatened, this seemingly unassuming beetle doesn't just run or bite, it unleashes a scalding hot, irritating chemical spray from its abdomen with an audible popping sound. Now here's the illogical part. The beetle produces in stores 2 separate, relatively harmless chemicals, hydroquinones and hydrogen peroxide. When threatened, it mixes these compounds in a special reaction chamber within its abdomen, along with enzymes that act as catalysts. This chemical reaction is highly exothermic, generating intense heat and pressure. The result? A near boiling, around 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit, an irritating liquid is violently ejected in short bursts through rotatable nozzles at the tip of its abdomen, allowing the beetle to aim its defense at its attacker. Think about the logistics here. How can this beetle store these highly reactive chemicals within its body without them spontaneously combusting? What prevents the internal organs from being damaged by the intense heat and pressure of the reaction? It's a biochemistry lab happening inside a tiny insect. Logically, such a volatile process should be incredibly dangerous for the organism itself. Yet, the Bombardier Beetle has evolved a system to precisely control this explosive reaction for its defense, a feat of biological engineering that continues to baffle scientists. The Bombardier Beetle's ability to weaponize a controlled explosion within its own body is a truly illogical marvel of the natural world, earning it the number 7 spot on our list. Slithering into our number 6 spot is a frog with a rather unusual and seemingly self-destructive defense mechanism, the hairy frog, also known as the horror frog or wolverine frog. When threatened, this amphibian can extend sharp, claw-like structures from its toes. Now, these aren't true keratin claws like a cat or bird has. Instead, the hairy frog achieves this by seemingly breaking the bones in its toes. Each toe has a small, sharp piece of bone at the end. When the frog is threatened, it contracts specialized muscles in its feet, which forces these bony points to pierce through the skin, creating claw-like projections. Logically, breaking your own bones for defense seems incredibly counterproductive. It would surely cause pain and impair mobility. Yet the hairy frog does this repeatedly without apparent long-term damage. How does it heal so quickly? How does it control this bone-breaking process, and why evolve such a painful-sounding defense mechanism in the first place? It completely contradicts our understanding of self-preservation and the fragility of bone structure. It's a biological trade-off that seems utterly illogical from our perspective. The hairy frog's apparent willingness to break its own bones for defense is a truly bizarre and illogical adaptation, landing it at number 6 on our countdown.
Reaching the halfway point at number 5, we have a marine mammal known for its playful demeanor and surprisingly sophisticated behavior, the sea otter. Now, tool use in the animal kingdom isn't unheard of, but the extent to which sea otters rely on and have integrated tools into their daily lives is quite remarkable and in some ways illogical for a non-primate marine mammal. Sea otters are frequently seen using rocks as tools to break open the shells of their prey, like crabs, clams, and sea urchins. They'll often keep a favorite hammerstone tucked into a loose pouch of skin under their armpit for repeated use. What's particularly interesting is the cultural transmission of these tool-using techniques. Mother otters have been observed teaching their pups specific methods and even passing down preferred types of hammerstones. Different populations of sea otters even have different tool-using traditions. Logically, you might expect such complex learned behaviors and tool use to be more common in animals with large brains and highly developed manipulative appendages, like primates. While sea otters are intelligent, their flippers aren't exactly designed for intricate manipulation.
Yep, they have not only figured out how to use tools effectively in a marine environment, but also developed a form of cultural learning around these techniques. It challenges our assumptions about the evolutionary pressures and physical adaptations necessary for complex tool use and social learning. The sea otter's sophisticated tool use and cultural transmission of these skills in a marine mammal with relatively undexterous limbs is a truly illogical marvel, securing its place at number 5. Rolling into our number 4 spot is an insect with a rather unglamorous job, but a surprisingly sophisticated navigational system, the dung beetle. These beetles collect and roll balls of dung, which they then bury and use as a food source or a place to lay their eggs. Now, navigating in a straight line while pushing a ball that can be several times your own weight across uneven ground is already a feat. But here's where it gets truly illogical. Some species of dung beetles use the stars of the Milky Way galaxy to orient themselves. Think about it, a tiny insect on the ground using the faint band of light from billions of distant stars to maintain a straight trajectory. How is their tiny brain capable of processing such subtle visual cues and using them for navigation? Logically, you'd expect them to rely on more immediate environmental cues like scent or landmarks. But studies have shown that these beetles get disoriented on clear, moonless nights when the Milky Way isn't visible. This suggests they have an innate ability to recognize and use celestial patterns for orientation, a navigational feat that seems far beyond the capabilities of such a small creature. It forces us to reconsider the complexity of insect neurology and their capacity for sophisticated sensory processing. The dung beetle's reliance on the stars for navigation is an astronomical feat of biological illogicality, landing it at number 4 on our list.
Entering our top 3, we encounter a master of disguise from the deep, the mimic octopus. This incredible cephalopod has the remarkable ability to not only change its skin color and texture like other octopuses, but also to mimic the shape and behavior of a wide variety of other marine animals. When threatened by a predator, instead of just camouflaging, the mimic octopus can contort its body, change its coloration, and even alter its movements to resemble a venomous sea snake to scare away fish-eating predators, or a flatfish to blend in with the seabed, or even a stinging jellyfish to deter crabs. They have been documented mimicking over a dozen different marine species. Logically, you might expect such sophisticated mimicry to evolve over long periods through genetic adaptations specific to each mimicry target. However, the mimic octopus seems to be able to learn and adapt its mimicry in real time, choosing the most effective disguise based on the current threat. How does it know what other animals look and behave like? How can it so fluidly control its soft body to take on such diverse forms? It's a level of adaptive camouflage and behavioral flexibility that seems to defy the limitations of its relatively simple nervous system. It's like witnessing rapid evolution in action, a truly illogical and awe-inspiring spectacle. The mimic octopus's incredible shape-shifting abilities and adaptive mimicry are a testament to the illogical wonders of evolution, earning it the number 3 spot on our countdown. Inching closer to the top spot, at number 2, we have a microscopic marvel that seems almost indestructible, the tardigrade, also known as the water bear or moss piglet. These tiny invertebrates, typically less than a millimeter long, possess an almost unbelievable ability to survive extreme conditions that would instantly kill most other known forms of life. Tardigrades can survive extreme temperatures, from near absolute zero, negative 273 degrees Celsius or negative 459 degrees Fahrenheit, to well over the boiling point of water, over 150 degrees Celsius or 302 degrees Fahrenheit. They can withstand immense pressure, including the vacuum of space and pressure 6 times greater than that found in the deepest ocean trenches. They can survive extreme radiation levels, dehydration, losing almost all the water in their bodies, and even being exposed to toxic chemicals. How did they do it? When faced with harsh conditions, tardigrades can enter a reversible state of suspended animation called a cryptobiotic state.
In this state, their metabolism slows down to less than 0.01% of normal. Their water content drops dramatically, and they retract their limbs and shrivel into a ton-like form. In this seemingly lifeless state, they can survive for years, even decades, until conditions become favorable again, at which point they rehydrate and spring back to life. Logically, the cellular damage caused by such extreme conditions should be irreversible. Yet tardigrades have evolved mechanisms to protect their DNA and cellular structures, allowing them to defy the very limits of biological survival as we understand them. It's a level of resilience that seems utterly illogical and has even led to speculation about their origins. The tardigrade's seemingly impossible survival abilities in the face of extreme adversity are a true biological paradox, making it a well-deserved number 2 on our list.
And finally, we've reached the #1 spot on our list of the top 10 facts about animals that defy logic, and it belongs to a creature that undertakes one of the most incredible and seemingly impossible journeys on Earth, the monarch butterfly. Every year, millions of monarch butterflies embark on a multi-generational migration from their breeding grounds in Canada and the United States to their overwintering sites in Mexico and California, a journey of thousands of kilometers. What makes this truly illogical is that the individual butterflies that start the journey will not be the ones to reach the final destination. It takes multiple generations of monarchs to complete the entire round trip. The butterflies that emerge in the late summer and early fall are the ones that undertake the long flight south. These individuals are special. They enter a state of reproductive diapause and can live for up to 8 or 9 months, significantly longer than the typical lifespan of a monarch butterfly, which is only a few weeks. They fly thousands of miles, navigating using a combination of the sun's position and an internal magnetic compass to reach overwintering sites they have never been to before. Their offspring will then continue the journey north, breeding along the way, with subsequent generations eventually completing the cycle. How does a butterfly that has never been to the overwintering grounds in Mexico or California know where to go? How do they navigate such vast distances with such precision? It's as if they have an inherited map in their tiny brains, guiding them to specific locations their ancestors visited generations ago. This multi-generational migration, with individual butterflies completing only a part of the journey and somehow passing on the navigational knowledge, utterly defies our logical understanding of instinct, learning, and inheritance. It is a biological odyssey that continues to baffle and inspire awe, making the monarch butterfly's epic migration our #1 fact about animals that defy logic. Wow! Who knew the animal kingdom was so full of incredible creatures that seemingly break the rules of nature? From immortal jellyfish to star-navigating beetles and migrating butterflies that defy generations, the natural world is a constant source of wonder and illogical brilliance. Which of these facts blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the illogical side of nature, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating animal facts and explorations. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.